Oh, it's days like today where I ask myself, why am I a Knicks fan? Why? Why am I a Knicks fan? So, and I'm gonna put the article in the description, but according to Bleacher Report, they came out with an article saying that Phil Jackson is pushing for Kurt Rambis to be the Knicks head coach next year and probably get a long-term deal as a head coach. And apparently, Carmelo Anthony and other players don't respect him as much as they did with Derek Fisher. Now, they respected Derek Fisher because he was a player, but Kurt Rambis had the whole Minnesota fiasco where he wasn't a great coach, where he started Kevin Love, and I did a whole video explaining Kurt Rambis' situation and when the report came out that Phil Jackson would be a part-time head coach. And again, video will be in the description or up top or whatever, however YouTube does their thing. I'll make the video available probably in the description. But according to Bleacher Report, Rambis it's a guy. Now there's been rumors saying that Tom Thibodeau wanted to be coach of the Knicks, Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, but it's Rambis. And Rambis is running the triangle the way Phil wants to run the triangle. He's coaching the team the way Phil wants to coach the team, and Phil wanted a coach where he can groom, he can make him his coach, basically have the coach come in like a father teaching a son how to do something, teach him how to do a sport. Then when the son is doing the sport by himself and he has questions, he just comes up, Daddy, look, I shot a basketball, Daddy. Look, do you want to see? I need your help, Daddy. And it's just that's what Phil Jackson wants. He wants a little boy. He wants a little boy to be a head coach, and to have him grow and teach him how to be a head coach all together, because that's what Phil Jackson wants. He's 80 years old and he wants his little boy to be this savior of a coach. And I'm quite frankly not too happy, because when Kurt Rambis came on board, the Knicks were out of the playoff picture but not eliminated. So if they got on a little bit of a run, they probably might have made some noise. No one picked them to make the playoffs. I didn't think they would make the playoffs. I thought they would be close. They were definitely going to double their win total from last year, but now they're 8-16. They just lost to the Hornets tonight on April 5th. I guess throughout this whole scenario. Side note, by the way, this is a VEDA. This is a video every day in April. Serious. Come on. I'm talking about the Knicks right now on my fifth or sixth, five or six. The day's gonna be in the description. Back to the topic at hand. The Knicks are in trouble. They are in deep trouble, because now they just put strike one. No, they put strike two on Carmelo Anthony. Not Carmelo Anthony has two strikes, but Carmelo Anthony now has two strikes. Now the Knicks have two strikes against Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo leaves the picture. The Knicks have swung and missed twice. This year they were supposed to make the playoffs, or at least make a push for the playoffs. They weren't supposed to be eliminated this early. They weren't supposed to be eliminated when they got eliminated. They were supposed to be maybe 2-3 games outside of the playoffs and possibly making a push, giving Carmelo Anthony, all right, We're there. We're almost there. We just gotta make it. Carmelo Anthony isn't happy that they're losing so much, and that roster is a mess, and they don't have a first-round draft pick because they gave away this year's draft pick to get Andrea Bargnani, who's nowhere near worth a first-round draft pick. And now they're left at an impasse because now they have players like Jose Calderon, Kyle O'Quinn, these players who are on the team who they thought were going to make an impact that really didn't make an impact. Now there are guys like Serafin, Alfalo, who won't necessarily come back to the Knicks. They might give the Knicks more cap space. But the Knicks aren't going to attract a big free agent like a Kevin Durant, maybe a Mike Conley, but even then you have to be one more player. And that's been the role with the Knicks ever since the big three of Amari, Chandler, and Melo broke up. Because realistically, it was supposed to be Melo and Amari and Chandler. The problem was they didn't get any role players. And the 1 year they won 52 games is because they had veterans who were hungry for a championship. And they had Shumpert, who was young. They had J.R. Smith, that they were just brought on from China. And now they're just rebuilding. And by rebuilding, I mean, let's try to make the playoffs. What I think is going to happen is that the Knicks are going to fail to get a significant free agent. I'm talking about Mike Conley, Rajon Rondo, and they're going to sign some random person that'll win them 2 more games at the most. And Carmelo Anthony's not going to be happy. Carmelo Anthony's going to want to waive his no-trade clause. And I think this is key. Because if Carmelo Anthony does revoke his no-trade clause, the Knicks are going to have to be smart with this trade. They can't just trade him to trade him, obviously. But in the past, they've shown to do that. What they need to do is trade Carmelo Anthony for not 1, but 2 first-round draft picks. 2. Plus, they need a role player, not some random off the bench. They need a starter and a role player, at least 2 players, along with those 2 first-round draft picks. Hopefully in consecutive years, or 1 year, then 2 years later. Maybe a 2017, 2019 first-round draft pick. Then a role player, a starter, maybe 2 or 3 role players, and a starter. That's what they have to do. They have to bring in assets that'll be there for that'll be for the long term only. Now they're not going to get a young guy, but the way I see it, Chicago could really use Carmelo. If I were the Knicks trading with Chicago, getting 2 first-round draft picks, give me Doug McDermott and Taj Gibson. Sounds like a fair trade, right, for Carmelo Anthony? That way the Knicks get a veteran in Taj Gibson, and they get a young player in Doug McDermott to fill the small forward position. If I'm the Lakers, 2 first-round draft picks, Jordan Clarkson, perhaps. Julius Randle, maybe. I don't know if the Lakers would give up Julius Randle. They probably won't, which will be smart, but just throwing it out there. But Jordan Clarkson probably is the only one on the Lakers that I'd want. And then I just ask for a lot of draft picks. So Lakers probably won't be the ideal trade situation, but another team. Just thinking Portland, maybe. Get C.J. McCollum. A couple of draft picks. Get Al-Farouq Aminu with C.J. McCollum. 2 draft picks. You want Carmelo Anthony? They have to raise the bar high, the Knicks do. The Knicks have to raise the bar if they want to actually rebuild. actually go on with Ryan Grant as the point guard, Langston Galloway as the 2 guard. Bring in a third small forward, because Carl Anthony really isn't the small forward they wanted. He's not. He's just I don't know if he has potential to be, but he's not the small forward the Knicks envision, and I don't think he's the small forward the Knicks need. That being said, yeah. So Kurt Rambis, head coach of the New York Knicks, he will definitely be a better coach than he was in Minnesota, because this isn't a trash team like Minnesota. Last year it was a trash team, but no one cared last year. No one wanted to win last year, so there's that. Well, leave your comments below. What do you think about Kurt Rambis being the head coach of the New York Knicks long term? Do you like it? Do you love it? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm Jorge, aka the Latino Nerd, and I will see you very soon, unlike the Knicks' chances of an NBA Finals.